Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm excited that you chose to hang out with me here again on Wisdom on Wednesday, and I'm your host, Ray. Looking forward to the interaction that we've had thus far. I appreciate you all sharing the podcast. I appreciate you all interacting. I thank you for the encouragement. Felt like we've built a community here of people that are focusing on their wisdom journey, who's focusing on learning, growing, and sharing. I appreciate you for adding all your intellectual properties to this podcast, and thank you for showing up weekly. I'm growing, and I hope you're growing as well. The goal is for us to discuss minor topics, but just thinking about some things in a different light. So today, nothing heavy, nothing major, but something that really helped me throughout this weekend. Wise people, we need to make certain we're paying attention to the signs. Wise people, be sure to pay attention to the signs. I was spending some time with one of my favorite people this week, one of my mentors who have taken on a large task of speaking into my life and encouraging me, and it's greatly appreciated. But oftentimes when you're having conversations, you have to make certain that you're being as responsible to that conversation and to that relationship as those people who have poured into you. You see, it's important to make sure you can pay attention to the signs because we are directed by the signs. Sometimes signs let us know we've gone too far. Sometimes signs will remind us that we may be going in the wrong direction. Sometimes signs will remind you that you are in a familiar area. I'm reminded of when I had a drinking problem and I used to hang out on a different part of town. And when I was trying to make my way home, I knew if I had too much to drink, I would miss my exit. And I know if I had been too far and if I had missed my exit, there was a tire on the right side of the freeway. And I knew even in my inebriated state that I had gone too far. I was following the signs. And sometimes we don't know that we're going in the wrong direction. Sometimes we don't know if we're going too far in a familiar area. But sometimes a sign will remind you that you've been here before. A sign will remind you that this is the point in your life where you aren't super happy about the way things were going. You weren't happy that you were drunker than you wanted to be. Don't judge me. But you can be reminded of signs in your life, points in your history to remind you of you've moved past this place. You are not making poor decisions in this same manner anymore. We have to pay attention to the signs. But that sign was a sign of grace for me. It was a sign of grace that even in my lawbreaking, even in my drunk driving, I still had the wherewithal to recognize the signs. And if you're paying attention, all types of signs pass us daily, but how many signs are you paying attention to? Are you recognizing the reminders that you've seen this movie before? Are you paying attention to the reminders that you're letting people get your blood pressure up? Pay attention to the signs. Are you reminded of those people who have conversations with you and after you get done speaking with them, you feel small? You feel like you're not adding to the relationship. You feel like you're not adding to the conversation. It's funny how certain people can make you feel like you're not important, that you're almost invisible. Pay attention to the signs. As I grow and this gray hair gets more and more on my face, I pay attention to the signs of when I value a relationship and I want people around me. I want people around me with aspirations and goals. I want people around me that are rooting for me in private. I want people around me that make me feel like I can keep going forward. The older you get and the more mature you're getting, I guess this podcast says the wiser you get, you want people around you that want the best for you. Pay attention to the signs. Don't live your life trying to impress people that don't like you. Don't live your life trying to impress people that don't care about you. Don't live your life trying to make people happy that underline hate you. Pay attention to the signs. The Lord has given us all a spirit of discernment. And if you're in a space where you know you're trying to force a relationship, you're in a space where you're trying to force a rekindling of a past or a dead relationship, pay attention to the signs. I learned a long time ago that If you're the only one pursuing a relationship, if you're the only one checking on people, if you're the only one checking to see if you're all right, every now and then you need to take a pause and check and see, when does that person reciprocate? When does that person reach out? Do you really have a relationship if you're not the one initiating conversation? Pay attention to the signs. I remember as a young person, my mother was trying to help me understand how not to be lost. And like many of the stories I tell about my mother, I had no clue what she was trying to do for me, but I thank God that she did it. She irritated my soul, that everywhere we went, we would go to the grocery store and we would have a jitney help us with the groceries, and the jitney would want to take us home. And while he was looking at my mother in a manner I didn't appreciate, what she taught me early on is she says, this is the jitney with the yellow station wagon. I want you to go out into the parking lot. And before we load up these cars, I want you to go and look at his vehicle and memorize the license plate. I said, I don't want to memorize this person's license plate. All he's going to do is take us home and we'll be done with this person until the next time we come back to the grocery store. She says, no, you don't understand. We're getting in a stranger's car. I want you to go outside and be familiar with the car make model. I want you to be familiar with the license plate, because we don't know this person. And if you have to find your way home, I need you to be able to recognize the signs. I need you to be able to articulate what you remember about the vehicle that we were in. What she was doing, what she was trying to teach me how to pay attention to my surroundings. What she was doing was forcing me to pay attention when other people are lackadaisical. What she was trying to help me understand that even though somebody is offering their services, their heart may not be in the right place. Pay attention to the signs. Oftentimes, you'll be chased by a dog. Oftentimes, a dog will bark at you through a gate. Oftentimes, even on somebody's leash, a dog may look like it's smiling at you while it's barking. But if you've ever been chased by a dog and you can feel that dog's breath on the back of your ears, you can hear that dog waiting to take a piece out of your hind part, out of your calf, anything you don't want that dog to bite, you can just feel that dog ready to just chomp down. And if you turn around and you look deep down into that dog's face, it seems like that dog is smiling at you. You see, you have to understand, many times people, they'll smile at you, but their eyes are truthful. Follow the signs. You can see when you enter a room, if a person is happy that you're there. You can see in a brief second if they're thinking to themselves, here they come again. Pay attention to the signs, because it's important that we learn that just because a person does not want to celebrate you doesn't mean that's your enemy. Just because a person can't handle all that you are doesn't mean that they hate you. It just means in this period of time, in this space, that you may intimidate them. There may be something about your spirit that just irritates their soul and they can't understand it. But I want to encourage you today that in order to do major things, in order to change the trajectory of your family, in order to not be afraid when people ask you to do things you've never been asked to do before, recognize that before you see the worth in you, many people else, they can see it. They can see that you're going to do great things one day. They can see that you're going to be one who's going to be the lender and no longer the borrower. Many people can see your gifting, and just because you're gifted doesn't mean you won't intimidate some. And when you intimidate some will be feeling inferior because of the light that you possess. Don't be afraid to be yourself, but while you're being yourself, pay attention to the signs, because the signs will tell you when to slow down. The signs will tell you when you're moving too fast into this relationship. The signs will tell you that this is the speed limit. You just met this person. Slow down. Follow the signs. Pay attention to the red light about to turn yellow. Yellow doesn't mean speed up so you can make it through. Yellow means slow down. It's about to turn red. And sometimes we need to all be cautioned to recognize we're moving too fast in a venture that our feelings feel great about. How much time have you spent with the Lord with this idea? That purchase may feel good. It may seem like everything's going to work out. But how much time have you asked the Lord about, is this purchase going to be good for my family? Is this something I'm doing just because I want people to see me? Or is this something that I'm doing that's going to bring you glory so that you can see me being obedient? Follow the signs. When you move in an area in which you're trying to be led by the Spirit of God, there's going to be signs. There's going to be things that we pay attention to, and there are going to be things that we all look over. And all of us have a bag full of stories of the things that if I had to listen to what God told me to do, I wouldn't be in this predicament. But I want to encourage you today that we know that all things work together for the good, for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. That means our failures. That means our missteps. That means our impatience, our inconsistency, all of the things that we did wrong. God's still going to use it all for your testimony, for his glory. So be encouraged that just because you failed in a particular area, you ran through that red light, you're in the unfamiliar territory and you didn't know the speed limit changed. We've all been there. But I want you to understand the best thing about a road sign is this. You may not recognize the speed change the first time, but the very first time you ran into a punishment, breaking the law, a ticket, guarantee the very next time you're in that area, the very next time you're in a relationship, the very next time you're in this type of crisis, you're going to remember not to speed too fast because you don't want the same consequences from the last time you drove down this road. You understand what I'm laying down? It's important that we pay attention to the signs, because if we pay attention to the signs, we'll make it to our destination. And the goal is for us to make it to our destination, but not only to get to our destination, but to learn on the way, to find out that if I put the coordinates in the GPS and I just tell the GPS my destination, that sometimes the destination that I put in, I'm not going to get there in the estimated time that the GPS told me initially. Sometimes you run into traffic and the GPS has to recalculate. And sometimes the GPS gives us an alternative route. And you can't be upset about an alternative route because ultimately you're still going to find your destination. It just may take a little bit longer because of traffic. It may take a little longer because construction. It may take a little longer because the bridge is closed. You see where I'm going? Just because you're not getting there in a time frame that you think you should be there doesn't mean that the master GPS hasn't already made your coordinates straight. So just because you're on the ziggy line doesn't mean that God has forgotten about you. Follow the signs. Pay attention to the signs. Make certain you recognize lust that's lingering in your heart. Pay attention to the signs. It's easy to linger in sin when we're afraid to move forward in faith. Because when we linger in sin, that's familiar. We all fall short of the glory of the Lord. And we sin each and every day. It's in our members. But we need to make certain we follow the signs. How did I end up here? Why am I on this same situation that I thought I wasn't have to deal with anymore? Feeling insecure, feeling anxious, feeling lonely, overthinking everything, thinking that when I walk in the room, everybody's talking about me. You see what can happen? We have to pay attention to the signs. What triggered me to start overthinking again? What triggered me to start being anxious all over again? Did you pay attention to the signs of the company you kept? Are you paying attention to the signs of the conversations you're having? Are you paying attention to the signs of the narratives you speak over your life? What do you tell yourself every day? Do you tell yourself you're beautiful, made in the image of God? Or do you look in the mirror and find all the ugly spots? Do you look into your mirror and see big, full, beautiful lips and say, look what the Lord has done? Or do you look with shame and say, man, my lips bigger than everybody's? Or you can look into the mirror and say, nobody has full lips like this. There's people paying a fortune to look like me. But if you continue to follow the signs of self-sabotage, you'll continue to run off the road. If you continue to follow the signs of not paying attention to the things in front of you, but always looking behind you, you're going to fall off the road. Sometimes the engineers, when they design a road, they put these loud markers on the side of the road. When I first started driving, I would be over there all the time because I couldn't stay in the lane. But I didn't know that, finding out that those were designed to wake up sleepy drivers. And in some of my drunken nights, I would be weaving and wobbing and ducking and dodging all over the road. And just before I ran off the road, I could hear the tires on that track on the side of the road. And the sound of the tracks would wake me up and sober me up for about 15 seconds until I went to the other side of the freeway and hear the same thing again, waking me up. But I'm only sharing this story with you is this. The reason I can tell this story is because I saw the signs. I recognized the signs that I was going to kill myself if I kept on drinking and driving. If I kept on taking my life in my own hands and feeling like I can make it home inebriated. But if I had never followed the signs, it was a possibility I could have hurt somebody with vehicle manslaughter. I could have taken my own life by doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. I'm not trying to make you sad with this podcast today. I'm just trying to encourage you to follow the signs. We all have the proclivity to self-sabotage. We all have the demeanor to do things that's going to help and hurt our future. But if we focus on the things that's going to help our future, that means that we're paying attention to the signs of things that we're productive in. Don't linger and focus on the things that make you feel bad about the day prior, but make certain that you're doing things that's going to bless you and bless your legacy, that you have work, you have a lineage, you have something you're going to do for your family, and your family's going to be blessed through you. But first, you got to recognize the signs. Ask deep questions. What am I here for? What's my purpose? And once I find out my purpose, Lord, give me the energy and the courage to fulfill that purpose. I can't live my purpose through somebody else's expectations. I can't find my purpose looking at what everybody else is doing. But I have to make and ask the master creator, what did you design me to do? And once you tell me what I'm designed to do, please give me the strength, the energy, and the courage to fulfill everything that you created me to be. I want you to be encouraged today to follow the signs. Don't be afraid to trust God's hand. Ask the Lord to direct you. Ask the Lord to show you. Ask the Lord to enlighten you. Help me, Lord, not to move too fast and get a speeding ticket because of what my flesh wants. But help me pay attention to your laws and your decrees so I can stay in your will. Hopefully this was encouraging for you today. It definitely blessed me. And I want you to know that God loves you more than you can possibly understand. This is Ray with Wisdom on Wednesday. Have yourself a wonderful day and a blessed week. Take care.